Speaking of speech issues, Corey Lewandowski, a Trump supporter, former aide, staffer, who the hell knows what his role is at this point? Corey Lewandowski was reduced to a sputtering mess when he was asked by Jim Acosta, all right, listen, J.D. Vance didn't answer, did Trump lose in 2020? Will you answer, Corey? And Lewandowski should really be a circus performer based on the pretzel he's able to twist himself into here to avoid answering a very simple question. Did Trump lose in 2020? Let's listen.
Let's get right into this. Last night, Senator Vance refused to answer whether Trump lost the 2020 election. Let's listen to that.
I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
Yeah, Corey, why is this so difficult for the Trump campaign to answer? I mean, it's 2024. Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election? Can you answer that?
Jim, I think it's very simple. The American people have passed the 2020 election. They're focused on an election which is just under 5 weeks away. And what we have an opportunity to do now is to talk about two different visions for America. And what J.D. Vance laid out last night is a very different vision than what Tim Walz and Kamala Harris want to say. So, look, we can go back and relitigate the 2020 election, or we can look at what we can do to make America better for everyday Americans who are struggling under Bidenomics.
Yeah,
they're struggling
Corey, it's not relitigating. It's just a simple question. Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election? I mean, that's an easy
Jim, why are we talking about 2020 anymore? Does the American people care about the 2020 election anymore, or do they care about being able to put food on their table, gas in their car, and heating
one
oil
reason
in
why
their...
it's coming up, Corey, is because the former president has said on the campaign trail repeatedly that there was all this widespread fraud in 2020. That was not the case. And he's also teeing up the same kinds of challenges after this election. It hasn't even happened yet. So it is a very relevant
Jim,
question.
we know there was fraud. There's no question there was some fraud that took place in the 2020 election. There's no question
no
about
widespread
that.
Fraud.
What does widespread mean, Jim? Is one vote that's illegal enough? Or is how many do you determine is widespread? What is that number?
There were instances of voter fraud from Trump supporters. I mean, you know that from the 2020 campaign. But
and you're saying there was none on the other side, Jim?
I mean, I'm sure there was, but Corey, I mean, every expert, people from inside the Trump administration who...
So you get it. He's not going to answer. J.D. Vance won't answer. Corey Lewandowski won't answer. It's the simplest of questions. Who won the 2020 election? And they will not answer. At another moment, Jim Acosta, good for him, asked Corey Lewandowski, are you now ready to say Haitian migrants are not eating cats and dogs? He's not willing to acknowledge that either.
Immigration. All right. Last night, J.D. Vance said immigrants have, quote, destroyed Americans' lives in Springfield before having his mic cut. But all of this got started when Trump falsely claimed at last month's debate that Haitian migrants were eating pets. The governor of Ohio, the mayor of Springfield have both come out and said this is not true. Corey, can you say that Haitian migrants are not eating pets in Springfield? Can you say that?
You know what I can say, Jim? I can say that 13,099 murderers were let into this country, 16,000 rapists, 425,000 people in the last 4 years have been let into this country by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's own Customs and Border Protection that are running around this country, Jim.
The other thing, too, it's Kamala Harris. I don't know. Is there...
All right, so he won't answer that. And then now Jim Acosta says to Corey Lewandowski what every sane person has been wondering. Why can't he just say Kamala? Why does he keep saying Kamala? He must know how to pronounce her name. And after not answering whether Trump lost the 2020 election, after not answering, can you just acknowledge that people aren't eating cats and dogs in Springfield, Ohio? Now he asks him, why can't you just pronounce Kamala's name correctly?
Why do you guys say Kamala? That is, it's Kamala Harris.
Jim, we know that they're committing crimes against Americans. Why can't these individuals talk about the individuals who've been killed by illegal immigrants? 13,099.
He also won't answer why he's calling her Kamala. He won't answer anything. What's the point of interviewing Corey Lewandowski? I don't know. You could say, well, it's ratings, David. Are the ratings even good? It doesn't really make sense to me. I think he goes back once more to the Kamala thing.
It goes to show you the politics of the top of the administration, whether it's Mayorkas or it's Kamala or it's Joe Biden. Donald Trump should have had additional resources.
What is this Kamala? It's Kamala Harris. Corey, you've been in this business a long time. I think you're a mature grown-up. It's Kamala Harris. Can you just say, can you say Kamala, or you cannot say Kamala?
Jim, can you admit
what's going on there?
13,099 murders have come into the country? You say you haven't.
Well, Corey, I appreciate you coming on. Maybe we'll have you back. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, maybe not, though. I like that. Maybe we'll have you back. I would say probably not. Folks, it's obvious what the Kamala thing is. Listen, you all know. I know that her name is Tulsi Gabbard. I know that, okay? So when I say Tulsi, yes, I am showing that I have disdain for her. That's absolutely right. It's obviously not race-based disdain. It's not ethnicity-based. It's, I think that she has become a tool of the MAGA right wing, despite professing that she was the last real liberal when she tricked a bunch of people into thinking that that's what she was. And so I know her name's Tulsi. I'm calling her Tulsi. It is pejorative. I'm expressing my distaste. They know that it's Kamala. And when they're saying Kamala, it's to express their disdain and also to show and frame it as it sounds more foreign. It sounds less American. It sounds less white. This is not a Kamala. It's like Barack Hussein Obama. It's the same thing. That's what they're doing. Corey Lewandowski's doing it. Jim Acosta points it out. They're going to keep doing it. She could be president 4 years, and she probably will be, the way things are looking, hopefully anyway. And they'll be saying Kamala by the end. That's for sure. Did you know that countless commercial databases and people search sites are storing your personal information? Anyone from an employer to a former partner can use these platforms to get details about your online presence, your home address, phone number, email, license plate, family members, financial information, even political views. Europe has laws that offer some protection, but in the US, the data is widely accessible. Even the FBI will buy this information from companies to spy on people without a search warrant. Our sponsor, Incogni, provides a solution. It takes just seconds to sign up, and Incogni will send removal requests to all of the major data brokers, legally compelling them to get rid of your data. Incogni keeps you informed throughout the process. You'll get real-time updates, who has complied, which ones are still pending. They'll handle follow-ups, they'll handle appeals on your behalf, and this will save you hundreds of hours. Very few people have the time or resources to do this on their own. This service can also reduce the number of spam calls and emails you get, since many solicitors and scammers get your information from these very same sources. Go to incogni.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman for 60% off. The link is below.